Trinity Test, the birth of fear. On July 16, 1945, at 5:29:45 a.m., the world changed forever. In a remote desert in southern New Mexico, the United States detonated a nuclear bomb for the first time. The experiment was called Trinity, and with it the atomic age began. But this moment was not improvised. It was the result of years of political tension, unprecedented scientific advances, and a race against time. In the midst of World War II, the United States feared that Nazi Germany would succeed in developing a weapon of mass destruction. Thus, the Manhattan Project was born, a gigantic secret operation that brought together the brightest physicists of the time, with the goal of creating the bomb before the Nazis. By 1945, the Nazis had already been defeated, but Japan would not surrender, and American scientists had reached their goal. An atomic bomb was now a reality. All that remained was to test it. In the months leading up to it, the base known as the Trinity site was transformed into a high-security complex. Hundreds of soldiers, scientists, and technicians were deployed there. July 4th had been the originally planned date for the test, but preparations demanded more time. In the 2 weeks prior, more than 250 men worked tirelessly in the area. Another 160 were stationed in nearby towns, with orders to evacuate civilians if something went wrong. Barographs and seismographs were even installed 100 miles away to record the explosion. It was literally a leap into the abyss of the unknown. At 5:29 a.m. on July 16th, the device was activated. It was a plutonium bomb, similar to the one that weeks later would devastate the Japanese city of Nagasaki. The explosion released energy equivalent to 19,000 tons of TNT. The desert floor melted. The sand turned into greenish glass, trinitite. The crater was 3 meters deep and over 300 meters wide. Physicist Enrico Fermi was there. From the base camp, 16 kilometers away, he shielded his face with a board fitted with welding glass. He felt heat on his skin, and the sky became brighter than midday. A mushroom-shaped column of smoke rose above the clouds, up to about 12 kilometers high. 40 seconds later, the shockwave arrived. Fermi, in an almost ironic gesture, dropped bits of paper to calculate the air pressure. He estimated it equaled 10,000 tons of TNT. He had underestimated it. Physicist Richard Feynman, rebellious as always, did not use protective glasses. He watched the blast from a truck, shielding himself only with the windshield. He said he was the only one to see the flash with the naked eye. And Robert Oppenheimer, director of the Manhattan Project, watched the radioactive mushroom cloud in silence. Later, he would recall a line from the Hindu sacred text, the Bhagavad Gita. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." That day, more than 260 people witnessed the explosion, none closer than 9 kilometers from ground zero. The nearby mountains lit up, as if it were daytime. The colors ranged from violet to green, and then to incandescent white. For a few seconds, the planet seemed to stop. But the world didn't know. It couldn't know. The development of the atomic bomb was a state secret. Hours later, an official statement was released by the Army Air Base. There have been several inquiries about a loud explosion at the Alamogordo Air Base Reserve this morning. A munitions magazine in a remote area containing high explosives detonated. There were no fatalities or injuries. The damage was minimal, and if anyone was evacuated, it would only be due to weather-related precautions. The lie was necessary. The world was not yet ready to know the truth. But a few weeks later, Hiroshima and Nagasaki would be. This was the Trinity Test, a moment that not only marked the beginning of the end of the war, but also the beginning of fear. The fear of a technology that, born of science, came to threaten the very existence of humanity.